Hi, good day. This is Barnabas, your data protection pal, and this fortnight we have quite a lot of interesting news on data protection and cybersecurity, and let's begin this now. Let's go. First article is a big news in Singapore because the private hire company called Grab that bought over Uber in Singapore has been fined the fourth time by the regulator in Singapore. But this time it was really interesting because they were the ones that came up to the regulators and said that, hey, we have a potential breach, please fine us. And the enforcement not only fined Grab for 10,000 Singapore dollars, but they also issued directions for the company to set up a data protection by design policy. This is probably the first time in Singapore where a company has been asked to do and apply data protection by design. So it makes me really wonder, this is something really important and should be applied anyway. I mean, it's normal in GDPR and CCPA, but not so much in Singapore yet. So this is the way that it has to go, and I believe all companies, especially with handling a lot of data like Grab, will have to apply data protection by design. So if you are in Singapore or Asia, are you applying data protection by design? So from Singapore, we hop over to Europe. Yes, this is a week of breaches, and here in Europe, we have 19,000 personal data breach in Wales because of somebody's human error. And very often we know it's because of human error that data breaches occur. And it's no different in this case, and they got a huge data breach. And from Europe, we hop over to the United States where another data breach occurred, and almost 200,000 personal data was breached. And this was interesting because, this was actually alarming because it was attacks on third parties by hackers, and resulting in a breach. So this is a warning to all companies that if you are using third party vendors for storing, processing of your data, then it's really important to then look at your contracts and to audit your vendors. This week in PDPC's updates on the Data Privacy Week, they talk a lot about data processes and how you should manage data processes. So this is something that we have to look at as well. Even I myself, I got lots of don't tell you too much. Anyway, and back to Asia, China. China is a sleeping dragon in terms of data protection, and I believe they have huge amount of data, and I'm quite sure the government is a lot of rules on this. But right now, many people say that there's no laws in China, but it really is. There's a law that will piss all over you. Yes, it's called PIS, Private Information Security. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the last S. I'll find it for you later, okay? I'll put it down in the comments below. It's called PIS, yeah? Personal Information Security something. I'll get back to you. So there is laws in China on data protection. So don't think there's no laws in China. So if you are going to do business in China, you have to also have your data protection policies, processes, and practices done properly. So be good, alright? Then, okay, back from Asia, we go to Dubai, and this is where you see data protection is happening all over the world, from US, Europe, China, Singapore, and Dubai as well. Although not the whole entire country, but just at least the Dubai International Financial Center, and companies in there need to comply by they have until 1st October, end of this month, to ensure that they are compliant with the law. So apparently they modeled it after GDPR. Makes sense. They are so near to Europe, right? They're like the bridge between Middle East, the bridge between Europe and Asia. Makes a lot of sense. And back to Asia. This is an article that worries me or gives me a little bit concern. Tokopedia, one of the biggest e-marketplaces in Indonesia, continues to run their business despite a huge data breach. If you remember, sometime earlier this year, they had a huge data breach, and they continue to function. And the data privacy laws are not so strong in Indonesia yet, but yet they continue to run their business. So is there an issue with this? Do you feel comfortable with this seriously if you are doing e-commerce or buying, selling on their platforms? I don't know. I don't know whether regulators should be stricter on companies like these with a lot of data. I mean, talk about 15 million users. There's a lot of data to deal with. So I don't know whether regulators should be a bit stricter on these organizations, because they do hold a lot of power and resources. They say that data is the new oil. So think about it, because this could be, you and I could have data in there. Of course, I wouldn't have data in there. I'm not Indonesian, but what about the Indonesians who are there? And if it's breached, gosh, and if you look at the cyber attacks that happen all over the world, there are lots of attacks to Indonesia as well. Maybe because of this. So this is Barnabas, and we hope you had a great fortnight with data protection. And if you would like to read up more and get a summary, on a one-page summary on the Personal Data Protection Act of Singapore, just click here. I want to scan this QR code, and don't forget to subscribe and like. So have a good week, be safe, and look out for my update this week on the DPO symposium that's happening right now this week in Singapore. So be good and be safe. Goodbye.